How to manage recoil. Every shooter wants to know how you manage recoil. Follow through, how you hit the target. I'm C.A. Reed. This is C.A. Reed Shooting. We're going to take a look at that. Thanks for joining me. A shot fires, you flinch. Your body reacts before you even think. That's called a subcortical shortcut, a fast track in your brain, straight from the thalamus to the amygdala. It's instinct, it's survival, built-in protection. Then the higher brain steps in. You process, you learn, you gain control. Growth is not about suppressing instinct, it's about mastering it. Every recoil is a chance to rise. It's a chance to make yourself better. Dr. Joseph Ledoux's research indicates the subcortical shortcut, a neural pathway in the brain's defense system that enables rapid preconscious response to threat, which plays a vital role in survival and understanding fear and anxiety. So what we're going to look at today is how you manage recoil. What's it all about? How do you stay on target knowing that you're going to take a thumping? Well, it's kind of a simple process, but it takes a little time to master. And one of the things that you got to do, especially if you're shooting offhand. Now, the Benchrest guys kind of have an advantage over offhand shooters in that the rifles are usually much heavier. The rests are much nicer. Even if you did have a misfire on a bench, it's pretty hard to catch a flinch. You're shooting a heavy rifle. It doesn't have a whole lot of recoil in a caliber that's usually meant for a little lighter push than a shocking recoil like maybe the 30-30 Winchester, which is a relatively light rifle. It's a 7-pound rifle. The configuration lends itself to a much greater felt recoil. And I'm going to show you the chart here of the same shot being shot out of this two different rifles. One shot out of a bolt action rifle doing about the same velocity, one shot out of the lever action doing about the same velocity. You can see that the felt recoil in the bolt action rifle is quite a bit less, simply because the bolt action rifle weighs more. And the effect on the target is going to be the same. So how do you manage that? And why do you need to? Well, it's a good practice when you're shooting offhand to get yourself with your feet apart, rest your rifle in your hand like you're going to shoot it. Now, when you're silhouette shooting, unlike a offensive posture where you're trying to put yourself into the rifle, in silhouette shooting, you're shooting at very small targets at very great distances. So your typical silhouette shooter will put most of his weight on his back foot, and he'll lean back and put his elbow into his stomach and try to gain a little bit of steadiness out of that. And what you want to do is once you get in that position, if you're shooting offhand and it's silhouette or just target practice, you want to kind of close your eyes and let the rifle just hang there. And as it hangs, open your eyes again and see if your point of aim is anywhere near the target that you intend to shoot. And if it's not, you need to pivot your foot so that it is. And when you close your eyes again and you open them, you're going to see that your rifle is pointed right at the target you want to hit. And this goes a long way for follow through, because you're not straining yourself or your body or your muscles to try to position the rifle in a way that's not natural. It makes a big difference, and give that a try. Now, as far as the thump you're going to take, you're going to take it regardless whether you jerk or flinch or wince or whatever. It's coming, right? So the best advice I can give you is it really doesn't matter what happens after the shot's off. You're gonna blink. You're gonna squinch. You're not gonna. It's not a very comfortable feeling to have that kind of power in a small rifle. But here's what makes or breaks you as far as shooting offhand. And you can see as the clips go on that, we're shooting, I'm shooting offhand at great distances here. You can see I've cut in the yardages and I've I've given you pictures from the firing line. You can't even see the targets. So you're shooting these things with iron sights, and they're really hard to see with the naked eye with the camera. And you can see them just fine at the firing line, but it gives you an idea just how far these things are out there. And nobody's shooting scopes, and you're not allowed to. You can't rest the rifle on anything. You just gotta use your own body, and you're gonna get the recoil. It's coming back at you. And my advice is that you just understand that your follow through is everything when it comes to recoil. And what I mean by that, when you follow through with your shot, when the shot breaks, in other words, when the shot goes off, you want your eye and your front sight to be on the target. You want to just get it there. You're gonna have wobble, and you're not gonna stop the wobble. But as you squeeze that trigger, the wobble is gonna slow down enough for you to just break that shot. And once you break that shot, if you're concentrated on the target, you're not gonna flinch. You're gonna hit the target. And whatever happens after the shot goes off, well, it doesn't matter. You're shooting a rifle that's spitting a bullseye at 2,000 feet a second. And by the time you make a funny face or creak your eyes or, grit your teeth or, jerk like that or whatever, the target's already down. Now, I mean, it does mean something in I would say precision shooting, that you follow the bullet out there at those distances. But remember, precision shooting is a practice that's done from a rest, usually off of sandbags or whatever. You're trying to catch your bullet impact. Now, it's a little hard to do with open iron sights. So, I've done it both ways. I've seen my impacts at the big range shooting the 308, and I understand how that works. What I'm talking about primarily is how to control the recoil when you're shooting offhand. And this goes for scopes and iron sights or in any hunting position. You want your front blade of your sight, you want the reticle of your scope on the target when the gun goes off. Whatever happens after that is immaterial. So remember that. Follow through. Keep everything, concentrate on the target. That's the only thing you won't worry about the recoil. Don't worry about nothing. The shot will go off. The target, you're going to hit. If you do your job, you're going to hit the target. And obviously, you're going to get banged. That's just no way around it. Flinching or jerking or trying to, position yourself in a way where it's not going to hurt isn't going to help you. You're still going to get the thump. And that's just the way it goes. So just remember that, how you position yourself, how you concentrate on your front sight, how you concentrate on your crosshairs, and follow through the whole way till the thing goes off. And that's how you break the flinch. Now you can try dry firing. I do a lot of dry firing, just to see if I'm jerking or, whatever. But if I'm live firing, and I have a primer that don't go off, I jerk the gun. And I want to say 99.9% of the shooters out there, after they've shot these rifles 3 or 4 times, or 10 or 20, remember, we're shooting 40 and 80 round matches, you're taking a beating. So yeah, you're gonna jerk. But here's the thing you gotta remember. Did you jerk when it went click, or did you jerk after it went click? Because if you jerked after it went click, you hit the target. So you got to make sure that. Even Jerry Michalek, the great Jerry Michalek, says you're gonna jerk the gun. It's just there's no way around it. And I seen on one of his videos. I don't remember which one, but he said if you're trying to cure the flinch, he said you're just gonna have to live with it and figure out how to beat it. That's what I was talking about. Dr. Joseph Ledoux's study, in that sometimes there's just reaction to action, and the human body just doesn't have the time to process it. And you can get better at it, but to completely eliminate it, I wouldn't wrap myself up in knots about it. I just make sure that after the shot, you hit the target. So that's my video today. I appreciate you joining me. And this is C.A. Reed for C.A. Reed Shooting. I'll see you next week.